Welcome back to 12 Day Health. I'm Dr. Derek Da Silva. Each year, millions of people try to lose weight so they can feel better about themselves. The sad truth is most of them end up putting the weight right back on, and many even get bigger than before. My next guest says diets are not the answer. He's the author of the book, Wake Up Skinny, the simple solution for a lean and healthy body. I'd like to welcome weight loss psychology expert, Mark Patrick. Thank you so much for joining us here.
Thanks for having me, Doctor.
The first thing I have to ask you is this is really interesting because I saw this, that you refer to the obesity lifestyle and say that it's being packed and promoted to millions of people in the country. What do you mean by that?
That's correct. Let me give you three simple examples. The first thing is there's over $10 billion marketing to children in our society. What they do is they package up foods with these different characters that you see on TV, and it's very difficult for you as a parent to walk down a shopping a grocery store aisle and say no to your children. So there's a lot of money spent in the marketing to children. The second example is the fast food industry understands the way colors work. Red and yellow actually make you hungrier, increases your appetite, and they found in studies makes you even eat a little bit more when you start to go there. So some of the biggest fast food marketers all use red and yellow in their packaging.
Interesting. What was you said three things.
The third example is what's in the food. They use high fructose corn syrup in the foods. It's a cheap sugar replacement. It is in abundance in almost all of our foods, and foods that you even think that are healthy, things like energy drinks and sometimes even protein bars, and that suppresses different hormones in your body that make you even hungrier.
So what can people do here? Is it a matter of education?
Education. Look, knowledge is important. The most important thing I could teach everyone is this: you have to change the way you see yourself subconsciously. The image you have of yourself, doctor, if you see yourself as overweight, unhealthy, unfit, you're going to attract all those habits. If you see yourself as healthy and fit, there's a little group of cells in your brain that they found out basically works as a magnet. It'll attract all the habits to you and the behaviors to you. So when you see yourself at a subconscious level that way, you'll decide to make healthier food choices.
You know, I do a lot of lecturing throughout the country every year, and one of the things that I tell people all the time is that any new activity, weight loss, exercise, whatever you're doing, all starts here.
Everything starts in your mind. Your mind controls, you cannot control what goes on outside, but you can control what goes on internally.
So is that why the diets fail then? Is it because people have not made the mental change?
Not made the mental change. As a matter of fact, the most important thing I found across the board, and we've studied this with our clients successfully, is they all have this kind of wake-up call where they have this low point in their life where everything, they hit rock bottom, and all of a sudden they're sick and tired of being sick and tired. That gets them out of this kind of comfort zone and shifts them into making healthier choices.
But what about this whole issue of the misconception of making that the willpower, if you will? Is it the willpower or is it mind power?
Here's where the biggest misconception comes in. Willpower is a conscious behavior. And what happens is a habit. When you establish or make a habit, it is 1,000 times more powerful than willpower. So not having willpower and losing weight is still attainable. You have to focus more on internally and changing those different habits.
How long, and I've heard various answers to this question, how long does it take to establish a habit?
A habit could be changed in a moment. I always tell someone the best way to change habits is through either affirmations or through visualization. The more you picture yourself doing something, your brain, if you tell it a lie loud enough, long enough, you probably heard the statement, eventually it starts to believe it. Well, you can't lie to your brain, but you can impress the right images or the proper images, and eventually those images become part of your lifestyle.
Right, but part of what you said is the mind does not know the difference between reality and fantasy.
That's correct.
So that is, and again, I really believe that this is the most important thing. What do you say to your patients? And I guess this is something that you really explain in your book, Wake Up Skinny. What do you tell them as far as weight loss goes?
First thing I tell them is that the first thing you need to do is look for in your life, what is it that in your life you're not happy with it? Write it down. And then what you want to do is find out the things that you want to change as far as the habits you want to change, and write those down. And focus not on what you're not doing, but focus on the things you want to change.
For people that really want to lose weight, where do they start? What is step 1, 2, and 3? I know you just said what you just said, but give me a 1, 2, 3.
Well, we found there's 6 things in common to lose weight. The first one I just taught you is this: you have a wake-up call. The second one is you need to take responsibility. Regardless of what has happened in the past, you have to take responsibility. The third thing is to take action. And on the way, whatever that action may be, it may be going out there and, if you're not exercising, exercising 5 minutes a day, and make a commitment to a healthier lifestyle and just start taking action right away.
What do you think the single most important thing that people can do to continue the weight loss, to establish that permanent structure, if you will, of weight loss?
Listen to your self-talk, the messages you tell yourself. If you're telling yourself you're overweight, if you're reinforcing the behavior that you're not healthy or a couch potato, or you're a carboholic or a sugar addict, you go to change those habits and you're always going to go back. So changing your self-talk and the message you send yourself should be the first thing you do before anything else.
But let me just be realistic about this. The 300-pound guy that's sitting on the couch drinking beer and eating potato chips, what does he need to do?
What does he need to do? The best thing for him to do is find out something in his life that can shift him out of his comfort zone.
Like what?
Example, the #1 way people stop smoking, believe it or not, is a heart attack. They go through this life-threatening situation, and they realize they're not going to be around, and they stop smoking. So sometimes it takes something like that to shift somebody out of their comfort zone.
Why did you write the book?
I wrote the book
Purpose?
For this reason. There's so many different diet books that are on the market today. They all teach people what they should do. I wanted to teach people what they're not doing and how to get themselves to want to do it instead of have to do it.
Thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Pleasure to have you here with us.